Hi, welcome to the Business Class ESL Breakroom. We're a company of passionate language trainers and coaches. We're here to share ideas to improve our skills and strengthen the training community. Come in for some inspiration, leave with tips to apply to your sessions today. Hi, and welcome to the Business Class ESL Breakroom. Today's guest is Patrick HAIN from Germany. And I've been really looking forward to welcoming Patrick to our show. You may not know him yet, but I think you will appreciate him. Patrick is a lifelong musician and English teacher as well, who works in a high school in Bremen. But I came across his amazingly funny grammar music videos a couple years ago when I was taking a little dip into teaching high school. And I just fell in love with the concept, and I thought it was just such a fun way to bring music to learning. So I'm delighted that Patrick is here with us to talk to us a bit about his journey and how his videos have taken off. His video on irregular verbs has had over 100,000 views. Is that right?
Almost 200, yeah.
Brilliant. So welcome, Patrick.
Thank you very much. Thank you for having me.
We're delighted to have you. And so first, just a little background. Maybe you could tell us a bit about your background in music and how you came into English training, teaching.
All right. Well, I think like every young boy who picks up the guitar, my idea was I'll become a very important rock star, which basically did not happen. So,
not yet.
Kind of, yeah. And then I studied English. I did music all the time. And then there was this point where I had to decide what to do. And I decided to become a teacher. And ever since then, I am teaching and I'm doing music and I'm doing videos all at the same time. And it is a lot of fun for me. Still.
Absolutely. Well, it seems that way by your videos. So speaking to our colleagues who may not have seen them, you have videos on every imaginable grammar topic, and they are in every imaginable style of music, correct? Yeah. They're not just, I've seen other grammar videos, honestly, and it seems all the kind of the same music. And what I appreciate about yours is you've got kind of Bollywood inspired, you've got hard rock, you've got dance. Can you tell me the origin story of how you started doing those?
Yeah, sure. Basically, it started on a typical day, like today here in Bremen. It's raining, gray, and all that. And I was teaching irregular verbs, and the kids were just like, "We want to go home. It's Friday." So this typical situation that teachers might know. And I was starting like, okay, let's do that. And I tried to motivate them and nothing worked. So I started to dance and sing. And there was this silence in this classroom where all the kids said, oh, well, now he's just going crazy or whatever. And I started to sing. I said, you have to sing. There's irregular verbs that are so easy to learn. And they said, oh, Mr. HAIN, you are so embarrassing. And I have to say that we had a good connection in class, so they were not afraid to say so. And I said, I'm embarrassing to you? All right. So I went home and told my family, I need 1 or 2 hours. I have to record something, and recorded the chorus, basically, this irregular verbs. And then sat down, put the words together, and at the end of the day, I emailed this song, only an MP3, to the parents' board of the class. And I said, this is the homework for the kids, and we will write a test on Monday. So things that you would never do. And I got a reply, and the mother said, how great is this? Yes, please. So, and she said, can we somehow spread this song or whatever? And I said, I don't want that, but maybe I'll put it on YouTube. So next week, I took, things that were lying around, this hat, which is actually ahead of my daughter, and I took it and I told her, you have to hold the lyrics, because I I just wrote them down. You can even see her at 1 second in the video, and the video took maybe, I don't know, an hour to record. It was all recorded on very simple equipment, and I put it together just because I wanted to have it on YouTube the next week. So then I said, I sent another email to the kids this time. This is your task for next week. And then everything evolved, and they said, "Oh, this is great." And since it was the first time, it circled around school first, and then I looked at the numbers, and they went more and more. So the kids said, "Yeah, you are the YouTube star now." And I said, "No, this is homework." So, and they basically encouraged me to do more. So
fantastic. Let's just have a little look, shall we?
Okay.
All right. You think you can't learn the irregular verbs? Well, I've got something for you. Start. Be was been, beat, beaten, become, became, become, begin, began, begun, break, broke, broken. Irregular verbs are so easy to learn. One thing you had, you never forget them. Irregular verbs are so easy to learn. One thing you had.
Okay, so now that everyone's gotten a taste of the style, I just want to say that I really appreciate that the refrain is a positive affirmation for learners. It's telling people you can learn this, and at any age, which I think, as you said, is appropriate. Was wondering what the feedback and the impact has been on the actual learning. What have you noticed in your classrooms?
When I first published it, it was a bit like, whoa, our teacher's on YouTube. And in the first weeks, actually the kids were singing this song whenever they saw me. Yeah. So that was nice. And then I realized that up to this day, actually, it's not about the content, not at all. It's they were asking me, where did you get that clothes from? What is this? and some of them, they started to do the moves that I did, which I made up in the second that we were recording that. So there was no idea behind that. And it was interesting because the focus still seems to be a completely different one for the smaller kids, like 11, 12-year-old kids. You have to teach them what it means to sing and learn at the same time, but they don't want to know. They just do it, and that's the interesting thing. They hear the chorus, the refrain, and they sing it, and without understanding what they do, they learn. And this is what I really like about this. You have this melody, you have this hook line, and for me, that's the most important thing. After I started doing more videos, the main part is the chorus. The main part is this hook line and the words. And this is where I spend a lot of time. And then I sing these songs to my family. And if they approve, fine. If not, then I have to change that. So this is the glue, the remain in the brain thing. So and
I love it. Remain in the brain. That's it.
That's basically it. And then I start to put these verses together and see what we can do. And sometimes there's some kind of double meaning behind that, sometimes not. So, and that's what the kids remember. They always remember this one phrase. Yeah,
that is brilliant. And I know that works for adults as well. And I told you off camera, one of my other favorites is the present simple, one of your present simple videos where you say, always use the S with he, she, it. And I find myself almost singing that to my adult learners.
See, it works.
It does work. And I've played it for them and they do appreciate it. I played one this week and the man really appreciated it. You know, you got to
that's it. Yeah. I always tell my kids, Just imagine you are in London or wherever in an English-speaking country, and you are at a traffic light and you don't know where you want to go. It's not about the grammar books, and it's not about the test that you have done. It's about, how do I say that? And if you have this kind of, let's say, buffet in your head, which you can pick from, then that's better. That's what I think, at least.
Yeah, it's fantastic. And as someone who's recently been trained as a neuro-language coach, we studied so much about the brain and what sticks and what helps things stick, and music and movement are huge.
Exactly, yeah.
So I really appreciate it. We mentioned the present simple with the S, and I was really happy to see you did a new to me, ballad of the present simple. Can you tell us a little bit about that, and I'll play a clip?
Again, that was a situation that evolved from a lesson, and we were talking about this, and the kids, they in Germany, they have a lot of problems with this S, and so I focused on that, and I said, you have to imagine this S is some kind of character, and this character is sad. Yeah, because you always leave it behind, and then in the end of the day, where does the S sleep? What does it do? And all that. So I came up with this idea to have some kind of Disney ballads that, like in these Frozen movies or something like this. So I came up with this idea. Maybe it should have like really big eyes and a bit sad eyes. So we can follow this S, and everyone is bullying this S. So that's the story behind it. And I tried
going through the shopping mall looking so miserable.
Exactly, yeah. So there was the idea behind this, and later it's on this hill, and everyone is joining together. It's more about fun, actually. Although I think it can have an impact on learning, but it is also just for fun. Watch this video and maybe you remember the S. Yeah, that's it.
Yeah, but it's really not. I want to say, as the French say, ce n'est pas faux. It's not wrong. It's actually, it falls really in line with the latest neuro research that emotion is also another glue factor. And when we bring emotion into learning, when that's joy, maybe, in the humor, it brings that out, it also helps things stick. So
exactly, yeah.
I think it's a super marriage of kind of creativity and fun and learning. Let's take a little look at the clip.
I don't need it, you don't need it too. Only friends it has are he, she, it. So this is the S, and it does confess. Sometimes it feels so lonely. This is the S, and it does confess. It doesn't want to be forgotten, so give it a chance.
Okay, so I just love the creativity in that poor little S video. But I would love to circle back a little bit and talk some more about your inspiration, and how you came. What are some of your influences that brought you to really feel free to inject this kind of creativity in your teaching?
Well, I'd say that everything that I have done musically still influences me. Mm-hmm. When it comes to teaching, I think the time in India, in New Delhi, was a big imprint for me also, because the school that I worked there was very small. So we had classes with up to 10 kids sometimes.
May I just cut in and clarify? So you spent 6 years, is that right, in New Delhi?
Yeah. It was
German
some kind
embassy
of
school.
Yeah, exactly. It was the German embassy school, and so people from all over the world that go to work or that work at Delhi or embassy and all the big companies, they sent their kids there. Most of the time there were half German and some other nationalities, whatever. So it was a vivid mixture of a lot of nice people.
Mm-hmm.
And very small classes, as I've mentioned, like sometimes only 10 people, sometimes only one. I had 1 year where I had one student.
Wow.
Which is not easy to teach. So we had to change a lot of things that are away from every day or every week teaching. So we put together classes like class 6, 7, and 8, and try to find out what were their abilities and where could we lead them to language-wise. And I had to rethink a lot of things. And it was super fun to do that, to get away from all the books and everything that you are supposed to do. Sounds a little strange, but it was fun to do that. And some colleagues and me, we tried to do something new, basically. Mm-hmm. And that's when this all started. And I thought, well, that's a good idea. There was one colleague, she had taught at a lot of embassy schools. And she said, you have to do this and this. It's always the same, like blah, 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 blah. So, and it was a big influence there. So I started to rethink things and try to do something new.
Yeah, you certainly have. And off camera, we talked about another influence that we share from our childhoods, perhaps. I know mine. Do you want to tell us about that?
Well, yeah, there was Sesame Street.
Yeah.
I think
for those who don't know, can we just explain Sesame Street?
I think we have to. Yeah, are we that old?
No, I mean there'll be people from other cultures.
Okay, yeah, Sesame Street. Yeah, originally from the United States of America, and I think in the 1970s it was sold to a lot of countries and also translated and. There were a lot of songs and characters that tried to teach kids with songs. And I still have some songs in my head, basically German. Just in the last recent years, I started to learn the original ones. Which
Great.
Is quite fun. Yeah. But that's the thing that I want to talk about. The imprint that these songs have, that you, after, let's say, 40 years, you still know these songs. And sometimes even, you know, the situations where you heard them for the first time. And I have some friends that are on this Sesame Street train also. And whenever I use a single word, they respond, and that we know that we can bond through these words. So that was a big influence. Yeah.
Yeah, and what's echoing a little bit in your videos to me in Sesame Street, they take the biggest and the brightest new stars, musical stars, often, and they have them right there for kids. They're not treating kids like, I don't want to use not the right word, but they treat kids with integrity. And they, you know, when I was a kid, and it was Paul Simon was on, and you know, really big stars. And more recently, you see Bruno Mars and, you know, really huge names. And I think it's interesting to treat them kind of as.
And it also bridges the generations, I think, because there are a lot of things that are definitely kids related. And there are a lot of Easter eggs in the background that are so not kid related. Yeah. And I love that. I think also coming back to language, there is no real, how to say that? There's no time or no age, let's say age, to do things, because these videos, especially the Sesame Street videos, they refer to so many things and levels in storytelling, for example, that everyone can relate to that, and that's why they are so successful, I think.
Absolutely. And another important aspect to bring it around to language training, Sesame Street focuses on phonetics and putting letters and sounds together. It was designed to help kids learn to read. Interestingly, my sister is a kindergarten teacher, so 5 years old when kids are starting to prepare reading. And in the US, Sesame Street has a reputation for being for real little kids. And she says, well, actually, the target is the 5, 6, 7-year-olds for the language level.
Yeah.
But it's, it's viewed as for the toddlers. But to bring it to language learning in adults, I recommend that sometimes to adults, or a lot of my learners have young children. And I tell them, watch Sesame Street with them. You will pick up as well. And it's a bonding experience.
Absolutely. Absolutely. And I think, as you mentioned that, sometimes adults, when they learn or when they have to learn, sometimes they are put into the situation, they work in a new company and they have to learn the language of that country, and they are put into these classes which basically are designed to thrash through the grammar so that they can speak very, very the next day something. And this is very not funny. So
there's a lot of pressure.
Yeah, it's a lot of pressure. Exactly.
Mm-hmm.
And you need to, I think you need to put back some fun into this, because this is what sticks to your mind. And this is what remains in the brain. So
there you go. Absolutely.
Yeah. And that's why I think also my videos, maybe they are also applicable for adults. Why not? Yeah,
fully. I agree, because they are fun, but they talk about any kind of adult music video, love, or the look of them. Oh, there's a real funny one, the hip hop one with Present Progressive.
Mm-hmm.
Oh my God, we'll get to play a clip of that one quickly.
Uh-huh. I'm sitting here thinking, drinking tea, scratching my knee, trying to figure out how to convey the grammar superstar home to every tense. The grammar superstar completely living free. That's the ING. Living in the moment continuously. You're living in the moment continuously. ING, superstar. Living in the moment continuously. ING, superstar. Living in the moment.
Okay, so I have another question, if I may ask you and pick your brain. Just wondering, if you were thrown into an adult learning training situation, how would you bring these videos with you, or how would you approach that, if I may ask?
That's a difficult question. Well, to be honest, I think I wouldn't do anything different from what I do with my kids at school, because these videos, you either like them or you don't like them, and the message that they transport is the same or stays the same. So if you are a visual person as an adult, you can relate to that.
Mm-hmm.
You see more of the Easter eggs that I put there. Maybe you can go through the idea behind the songs a bit more quickly. But in the end, it's about relating to the idea of having fun learning or not. So I could imagine that some adults in adult classes say, that's something for kids. But as we talked about Sesame Street, it's whether you like it or not. So
yeah, and fun really does consolidate the learning. Fun and emotion, and
I think that's the most important thing. When you come back to what kids like, or even adults, what do they like when they learn? They like that person, especially now when you are into a lot of Zoom meetings, and the people that you remember after these meetings, most of the time, these are the people that you like, that you somehow could click to. So that's, as I've mentioned before, for me, these videos are a buffet. You can pick this. If it helps to learn a very single thing, if it helps to remember the S, or if it helps to, you remember that stupid video, I think that's it. So, and I think adults can also do that. Maybe sometimes they have unlearned that.
Yeah.
I don't know.
It's permission to relearn it and permission to us trainers to bring it back to the classroom.
Exactly.
I mean, it really is.
It should trigger something. And if it does, great, fine.
Yeah.
And I get these responses from people, not only in the comments on YouTube, but also emails or things from a lot of different countries. And I don't think that are all kids. So, for example, since the United States have a new president and the situation at the Mexican border is a little different now, there are a lot of clicks from Mexico. Before that, it was United States. Funnily enough, was most of the clicks came from the US, and now it's Mexico. So there has to be something.
Interesting. So you feel there are adults over there preparing their English?
I don't know. Maybe. Yeah.
Fantastic. Well, Patrick, it has been so much fun talking with you.
Yeah.
Thank you for taking the time to be with us and sharing. And I hope that the message inspires some of our trainers to, go ahead and bring more fun to adult learners. They deserve it too.
Exactly. There's fun in adulthood.
Yeah, exactly. It's not over at 18. Do you have any future projects or plans or something you'd like to share with us?
Yeah. Well, I've got a lot of friends that are in this music business or media business and all that. They always say, you have to do this, you have to do that. And it's quite interesting. I think at the moment, I'm more like I will slow down a bit because I have some ideas that I want to plan. So like this anarchy video, Irregular Verbs, now has evolved into something that I always have to rethink. And I want to stop that. I want to go back to a bit more like say punky idea. And I will publish that on the channel, but it will be something completely different, I hope.
Tell us the name again of the channel so people can find it.
The channel is called Grammar Rocks and 3 exclamation marks.
3 exclamation points. It's important because you don't want to be confused with the old school American. Yeah,
I mean, the name came up the second I came home to record the first song. And I thought, it has rock. And then I just wrote it down, typed it in, and I found out there is something that was produced, I think, also in the 70s, 80s, that has a different approach, but it's the same name. So I said, well, change the name. Why not? Just keep it. It's fine. It was the first idea.
Sometimes the first idea is the best. Grammar Rocks, 3 exclamation points. Yeah. If anybody wants to get in touch with you to talk about your music, you do compose, I understood.
I did that, yeah. So I worked as, it sounds a bit like, I'm a composer. I worked with a TV station from Germany to basically provide some music for their documentaries.
Excellent. So. And if anybody wants to get in touch with you, they can do that through the YouTube channel?
Yeah.
Fantastic. Yeah. Well, again, thank you so much. And
that was fun. Very good.
Yeah, fantastic. Any final words to share? Final bits of advice?
No advice. Just try to have more fun while learning.
Yeah, I agree. Thanks for joining us in the Business Class ESL Breakroom, the podcast designed to bring business English trainers useful ideas, inspiration, and conversation that motivates. Follow us on Instagram at business_class_language and subscribe to the ESL Breakroom playlist on Spotify, Deezer, or Apple Music for new episodes. See you next time.